Shut the fuck up, Craig. We're talking here.
Oh my god.
You're the CEO now.
All right, guys, what's up?
King. Oh yeah, Dev, you do the thing.
Oh.
Somebody can do it. I don't care.
Yeah, what's up, guys? For us, it's the 13th. For when you guys hear this, it's probably like 2023.
13th for 2023.
Happy fucking New
Put it on
Year.
the headset and listen.
Happy New Year, Happy
Mhm.
Hanukkah, Happy Chinese New Year, whatever's up for you.
It's like February.
And
but
how's
yeah.
everyone been? I haven't been here for a while, so I don't apologize. I've been busy.
Yeah, have I met you? Do I know who you are?
Nah, I don't know who you are.
Ah, okay. Well,
It's
I
fine,
think I replaced you then, probably.
Probably.
Crazy.
Dev's been simping over Elon Musk on Twitter. That's
I
why he's
know,
so
man.
busy.
The guy is making Twitter great again. It's amazing. I can't wait to
Amazing.
pay my $8 for my
The
check
blue
mark.
check. Hey, for all you know, you could be Hiro Mashima.
I
Hiro
can't believe it
Mashima
only
don't got a
took
head start.
$8 to make insulin free.
As far as
No,
benefits go,
dude,
you
I-
will see reduced ads. So if you don't like ads,
Dude,
I feel like
how else
there's
would I know
more
how to get my penis bigger by ads? I mean, what?
There's still ads though, but this time there's
It's
troll
reduced.
ads, so it's
Oh,
even
yeah.
worse.
But the thing is, the ads are getting funnier because people are like paying to get ads on the site, and it's just shit.
Mm.
It's great, and then they
I
just
mean that's
charge
actually
back.
funny because like yeah, I was about to say.
I can't wait till like someone releases the numbers of how much money Twitter has actually lost in this period because
I've
the
heard
sheer
they're filing
amount
for
of
bankruptcy
chargebacks
like next year.
next year, bro, be like next week.
Nah, they got a buffer.
Because the fucking sheer amount of chargebacking that's happening is crazy.
I honestly think the processors are going to stop that eventually. But yeah,
It's just getting great, funnier and funnier. Oh, look at that. See,
I'm curious to see where it goes.
Paul.
So yeah, I love that fairy tale chapter. It was some good shit, man.
I
You
know,
would.
right? Oh, man. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about Fairy Tale Chapter 119. Hanging out in the nude. Even the fucking title is stupid. What the fuck?
Really mad.
Hanging out in the nude. You can blame
Wait,
Source.
that's the
Blame,
title. I didn't even read the title.
that's
I
literally
just
the
skipped
title.
part.
I blame Sorcerer
Hanging out-
Weekly for this chapter. This is Sorcerer Weekly's fault.
God damn it, Spidey.
I'm not
This
part of
is
that
all
shit.
Sorcerer Weekly. Like, we could have had a good chapter, but no. Fucking hanging out in the nude. Did we actually even learn anything in a chapter? Was there
No,
like
we,
actually anything?
they like tease that they're going to talk about something in the next chapter, but they're just like doing that really basic fucking build up. It's really annoying.
No, wait, we did learn something.
Mhm.
Elif
the
Siri is
size of
alive.
Lucy's tits.
Oh, I mean that too.
Oh yeah.
But Elif Siri is alive. We thought you got clapped.
I never
There we
even
go.
assumed he was dead. If I'm being honest.
To be
Like,
fair, I
figured
don't
would
think he
be.
was dead, but I didn't think we'd see him for a while.
Don't
I
remember
guess. I
anything.
don't know.
He's like that NPC who goes with you to for the mission, gets clapped, and then just appears at the end. Oh yes, I was a kid the whole time. Congrats.
I
Well done.
don't be talking so I can do that.
Oh man, but that was fucking tragic. But at least one good thing comes out of this. The Selene arc's basically finished. We hope.
Hope so. Yeah.
Just another conversation they talk about is more Selene arc. Oh my god.
Probably gonna be about the next dragon.
I hope so.
Yeah. Move on to the
Who
next
even is the
dragon.
next dragon? I forgot his fucking. Oh, it's the gold dude.
Well, they've never specifically said who the next dragon is, but it can only be either Ignia or the Gold Dragon.
It will be Ignia. They're gonna save
It's
Ignia for
gonna
the
be
end.
last, right?
I assume.
Ignia will just turn up. Ignia will turn up in the next one and be like, "Ooh, melt," and then we'll be like, "Oh," and then that'll be the arc.
Works for me.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, I haven't read any of the last like 10 chapters.
They've been pretty bad, honestly.
Yeah, I think the best thing in the last.
But there's been like one or two good moments, but yeah.
I think the best thing in the last 6 chapters is the whole Loxus situation, and even that was like, it was cool, but like,
It's like, why does that have to be good and everything else has to be ass?
pretty much. At least the
Asking
art
for
is
too much. You're being greedy.
being greedy.
Whatever.
Is there any fairy tale news? We don't have anything, right? I'm not
I
think
have
New
not
season
read
confirmed.
anything
No,
important.
Well, news is confirmed. We just don't know when.
April 1st, let's go!
Oh god.
We also learned Celine doesn't give a fuck about what happened. She would do it again, apparently.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Oh, like, dude,
Unsurprising.
Should do it again, but now she knows what to do this time. So she won't lose.
So yeah, Fairy Tale's been boring. Eden Zero's been even worse because Eden Zero took the worst part of Flash and tried to like make it better. And then,
Oh, no,
you know,
Eden Zero, man. I am you from the future. Holy shit, that was so bad. The thing is, everyone's been predicting that for the last like 100 chapters. We've all been joking about it, and then it actually fucking happened. And for like the last 200 chapters, everyone's like, Ziggy's not actually gonna die. Ziggy will be here. He's not actually dead. And then he did come back, and we're like, oh, okay. And then it was cool, and they were like, "Would Ziggy be Shiki?" Oh, he was. Oh, okay. Oh my god.
it was like a bad meme turned accurate. Depressing.
It really was. And then you got people out here saying, "No one predicted this." Motherfucker, are you stupid? We've been talking about this for the last like 2 years.
Air predicted this shit, and he doesn't even read or watch the fucking series.
It's
Like-
literally been the most popular theory, and people are like, "No one could have predicted this." What?
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up.
yeah. So anyway, fuck these two topics. Wakanda, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Let's talk about it.
let's go. Great movie. I actually liked it more than the first one.
Wait. Give me a spoiler-free review. Like, was it actually good? Because I do want to watch
Black
it.
people, Mexicans versus white people.
Spoiler free, the first hour was about like trying to move on from like T'Challa's death, which they've talked about in the trailers. And
I would
then-
argue that the whole movie was about that.
I okay, yeah, but like the first hour really like focused on that, and then after that it kind of went into the conflict. So it kind
Fair.
of almost felt like two separate stories, which is why to me the movie, despite being in 2 hours and 48 minutes, didn't really feel like it, because it did really well splitting those two storylines up and giving you like a proper like just
So
separate.
it's like you're
There-
getting 2 movies in
Yeah,
one.
I'd say it was still
Yeah.
like an overarching theme throughout the movie, but it's
Yeah.
like more obvious in the plot in the beginning, and the later
Mhm.
it's just like the ideas in people's head, while the actual plot focuses on the battles between the Namor gang and the Wakanda gang.
Okay.
There's
Hello,
this
can
point
you
in the-
stupid as fuck?
I'll go to hell.
Sorry.
Atlantis, yeah. There's this point in the middle where I'm like, all right, I'm actually into this premise. At first, I was like a little confused. I was like, is this gonna be interesting? And then the plot hit, and I was like, okay, yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I guess the whole
Well,
Atlantis switch was
so
like
then-
also fine with me, like because they
Yeah.
were clearly trying to avoid comparisons to DC's Aquaman, and honestly,
Mhm.
probably for the better.
Yeah,
I
they
feel
did
like
a
they
good job
killed it.
differentiating it.
What was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I feel like they killed it with the
Differentiation.
like
Mhm.
differentiation
Yeah.
and then just the overall look of the Talocan and the attire and the wardrobe.
Yeah, because you
and
don't see
everything
that
they had
often.
done. Yeah, it was prime Mesoamerican culture.
Yeah, like
It was
literally the last
fucking
movie
incredible.
I remember seeing anything related to that stuff was probably like fucking Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, which we don't really talk about, but for justifiable reasons. But yeah,
Yeah, I think the
Yeah.
last similar movie I watched was Avatar, that also had blue people in it.
Okay, well,
You're-
I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you go talk about
I
that.
think those
I'm
two were
gonna
the
mute-
same years too.
I'm gonna mute and definitely lot talk about that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the one time I don't want spoilers for MCU.
And no worries, man.
Go in. Go in. Go in.
All right, so on to the actual meat and potatoes of the movie. So, what do we think?
A really good opening scene. Very, very sad funeral. R.I.P. Chadwick.
Yeah, I liked the tribute they did at the beginning with the Marvel logo.
Yeah, I think they actually switched the Disney version of like the first Black Panther to the same thing, but this one just doesn't have the music,
Ah, okay.
which I think is probably the right thing to do. They did the same thing for like Stan Lee when he passed,
Yeah.
but they kept the music in that case. But I think his was like, well, the man died of old age. He lived a long life, whereas this was like very, because
Yeah.
Chadwick was so young, like literally less than half of Stan's age.
Mm-hmm. Kept it all under wraps too.
That too, yeah.
I feel like this movie kicked you in the balls in the beginning with the emotional shit, and then at the end of the movie with the post credit scene, they kick you in the balls again, and it's like, God damn, all right,
I don't know about
chill.
that. I
I
wouldn't
feel
say
like the
that. I
post-credits
know we're
were a little
jumping,
more
but like
happy.
it was happy. But I wouldn't say I was terribly surprised. I feel like a lot of people were anticipating that.
I kind of
I
wasn't
meant
because I thought the point of the movie was that we wouldn't need that.
I meant more because I know we're jumping ahead and I apologize, but like at the end
Mhm.
when Shuri's at the beach
Yeah.
and you have that little like montage of Chadwick,
Mhm.
I was like full circle, right? Or like we're gonna kick you in the balls in the beginning of the movie, and kicking the balls at the end of the movie,
Mhm.
and then I guess Kevin Feige was right, kept insisting we're not recasting T'Challa, but T'Challa will be in the future movies, and now we know how. But I'm jumping ahead.
Oh,
So
he did say that? I didn't hear that. The
No,
only part
he
I
was
heard was
very
that
clear
T'Challa's
about that. It was
being-
during the 2020 Disney's investor meeting that he said we will not be recasting the role of T'Challa, but they're just getting a new T'Challa, which I think is like completely okay. Getting into the
okay. I thought
comic
they meant we
mythology.
were getting a new Black Panther. Mhm.
Well, they've definitely got the new Black Panther as the
Yeah,
movie
obviously.
indicates, but like it is a curious take because like obviously we know in the comics Black Panther gets with Storm from the X-Men and they have a son who has Black Panther's abilities plus like Storm's electrical abilities, like to the extent because I don't think the kid's name is Azari. I don't think he can control like wind and water the way she can, but he does have like some electric
Yeah.
capabilities. So clearly they're not going to do that because obviously they don't have X-Men, which is unfortunate because I feel like that would have been an interesting way to continue this, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
they do own X-Men. What are you talking about?
No, like
So
they
they
like they're
don't
not
have it
in
like
the universe
established
yet.
in the universe.
So I
Oh,
couldn't
okay,
have had
okay.
him with Storm because that'd just be weird, and then also kind of going back on their former established relationship with Nakia.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
you're
why I
right.
was like, okay, yeah, they had a kid. Like that makes sense
Yeah.
because obviously in the first movie they're talking about like, oh, he saw her and then he froze like a deer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking movie, man. What did so? Should we just jump around, or should we just talk about
Yeah,
like
just jump
try to
around,
start from
say
the
whatever
beginning?
comes to your mind.
All right, so the biggest takeaway for me, I just loved the introduction of Namor was like perfect. And then we just started learning more about him, and he was so entertaining. But the thing that got me the most out of that was that he's actually just a man-child.
How's he a man child? Explain. Before
Yeah, I
slap
don't
the
have an
shit out of
opinion on
you.
this matter, but like I would be open to convincing one way or the other.
He actually has like no emotional maturity and logic. I actually drew a lot of comparisons to like Black Adam here. And I know Black Adam at the end of the movie was technically revealed to be like the adult, but like he acted like a child with everything. He's like, why shouldn't I kill
Wow.
people? Why shouldn't I strike first? When there's like he never got over his mother's death. So I guess that's kind of like a parallel
No,
maturity.
you failed miserably, my guy. He has lived for 700 plus, no, 600,
But
500
450.
plus years,
Mhm.
around there, 400 to 500 plus years, right?
Yeah.
He's seen the surface world always deal with conflict and always fight and always try to. He tells Shuri specifically, they always try to basically colonize our people and take the resources of our people. Fuck that. If they try to come for me, I'm gonna kill them right away, which is what he did to that little base they had
The
mining
conquistador
for the
place.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
yeah.
They have the power to defend themselves. So like, what are they worried for? There's
Well,
literally no reason to strike first, especially if
look
they
at
form
what
an alliance
look.
with Wakanda.
Yeah, but Wakanda didn't want it until the very end
And
Wakanda
because
would
they
have been
remember.
let's also add that
Wakanda
like
like
historically speaking, smaller powers have beaten larger powers by, striking first.
mm, I guess that is true, but like to me
I
it's
would
just
argue
like mhm.
because look at Wakanda. They were like, you know what? We're gonna be peaceful. We're gonna do all this shit. What ended up happening?
Yeah.
All these countries try to take their shit anyway,
Yeah,
even
but
though they were
they
being
know that they
peaceful.
can defend themselves. They are quite literally, despite being small, one of the strongest
Well,
powers in the
we
world.
don't.
Right, but
We
like I
know
think
that they
that
were able
goes
to
to like the
defend
idea of
that
like
base.
why do you need to like always be reactive?
Yeah, but that's just
Like,
kind of
yeah, but like it's
like
like saying like, oh, I'm so big, like I'm gonna let people like beat up on me even though they can't hurt me. It's like I don't want to put up with that shit.
yeah, but then you're being the colonizer in that case. That doesn't
Well,
make
you're
you
not being
better
you're
than
not being a
them.
No,
colonizer. You're
you're
acting
just
in
defending
self-defense.
your Namor's whole thing was, I don't give a fuck what y'all do with your shit. Don't
Mhm.
fuck with my people.
Yeah,
Don't fuck with my place.
but
And we
then it's
good.
like
Yeah, he wants to be
yeah,
an
but
isolationist, and I don't necessarily see an
Yeah,
issue
yeah.
with that.
It's
I
not him
think
being a man child. Him being a man child would have been like, you know what? Fuck that. We're gonna kill Wakanda. We're gonna kill all of you
he did say
because fuck
that.
you. Because my wife. He attacked Wakanda because Nakita killed one of his people. And one thing we do learn in the movie from the very early on when we meet Namor is he's all about his people.
I
But
will
the
say
thing
I
is,
felt
Gives
man,
that that
zero
well,
fucks
setup was
about
very contrived for the plot, just because it's like it's like literally like Nakia goes underwater in that little scooter sub, whatever.
yeah, it was all
The
very
next
convenient.
scene,
Mhm.
Namor says to the Queen, "If I see one Wakandan ship," it's like, "Oh, really?" And right after we just saw the one, whatever. It's like
well, don't
that's
forget,
a nice
don't forget,
coincidence
she was doing that.
for the
He
Queen.
was talking to the queen while Nikita was doing that, so he
No,
wasn't
I
aware of
agree.
that.
Like I'm not saying like
I
he wasn't aware of that. I'm saying I agree that with that. I'm saying like it was very convenient for the plot to have that
oh
going
well,
on
yeah.
simultaneously to further the conflict between the two.
So
Oh, one
like I
thousand
think
percent.
yeah, I think the problem is that like he was ready to take on Wakanda like no matter what. The fact that he wanted to strike them first was just kind of stupid in my opinion. Like
Well, no,
Well, he
he
viewed
literally
the
said,
killing as a strike that happened first, but like I'm saying, like the plot
yeah.
made it very convenient.
the plot made
He
it
also,
convenient, but even before that, every time he talked to the queen, he said, "I will destroy Wakanda if you don't line up with me, no matter what." He said, "If you
well,
don't ally
he
with
was
me."
he was
Mhm.
talking to Shuri first about allying.
Yeah, like
Um,
with Shuri, there was some manipulation going on there, but like
Yeah.
his thing wasn't ally with me so we can defend ourselves. His thing was ally with me so we can burn the world to the ground right now. If you don't join me on my war that I'm going to wage tomorrow, then I'm going to destroy you first. And I think that's
his
just too strong of an ultimatum for any sound-minded person to make.
he said he wanted to attack the rest of the world because they kept going for the vibranium. And you're right that he tried to do the
Mhm.
manipulation with Shuri because he was like, girl, you literally said you wanted to burn down the world. Fuck it, let's do
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
There's
And the
also the little
I
fact
reason
mean,
that like
that part was when I actually just
he want,
started laughing.
let's remind ourselves he wanted the scientist. He views Shuri's unwillingness to hand her over as like an act of aggression, so to speak. Whether that's like logical or
is
not, yeah, you can argue.
Yeah, like
But
that's
like
what I'm saying.
that's
Like
another
I'm
thing.
not like I understand his actions. I'm just saying like I'm not sure he's really like
Oh shit, I
the
got a
most
pizza in the oven.
logical
I'll be
guy
right
out
back.
there. Yeah.
no problem.
Um.
And one thing that I do want to talk about is that think about it this way: if he
Mhm,
fucks up Wakanda, right, and
yeah.
Wakanda is considered the strongest place on the surface land, right? Everybody's trying to go after Wakanda, and even they might
Mhm,
be successful at times because
yeah.
the Queen did mention in the
Yeah.
UN, oh, the attack. If they fucking murder Wakanda and like wreck it
Mhm,
real bad, who's gonna
yeah.
try to fuck with the ocean people? Who's
But
gonna try
that's
to
the
fuck with the
thing.
fish man?
He's
No
not gonna
one.
stop there. He doesn't want them to not fuck with them. He wants to actually kill them, and that's my.
That isn't
That's
that
like.
isn't true though, because
Mhm,
when the queen dies, he could have
mhm.
easily very continued. You're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just end this shit right now. But he was
That's
like,
because he still wanted Wakanda on his side. Like that's like part of him still being like human and wanting to
I
forge relations. But like he
I don't
didn't
think
want it.
so because if
Mhm.
no, go on.
I just think like the way he wanted the relationship to be, he didn't want it to be like a two-way street. Like you have to kind of come to a mutual understanding and understand each other, which is kind of what they did at the end of the movie. But like the way he was approaching it, it was kind of like an ultimatum. He wanted to be the one wearing the pants in this relationship, no matter what, which is kind of what I find childish.
I get where you're coming from.
Mhm.
Like I said before, I do disagree. I
Yeah.
think in the beginning he tried to get Shuri on his side, which is like, look, I don't like the people in the earth because they
Yeah.
bitches. I want to
Mhm.
keep my own shit to myself.
Mhm.
You don't like the people on the earth because of what they did to your brother, and you
Mhm.
want to set that shit on fire. So let's burn that shit together.
Yeah.
Shuri's like, I don't know about that, chief. And then
Mhm.
like King said, she still wanted to keep the scientist, and he's like, I can't give you the scientist. If she figured out how to find vibranium, what's gonna stop the let's just say America, because it's always America from trying to get her, forcing her to out find some more or do more of that shit. Right? I didn't see it as him being childish. I did see it being childish. When did I see it? I didn't see his actions as childish. I saw it more as like his entire arc was fucking leave Talocan alone. Do whatever the fuck y'all want to each other up in the surface, and we're good.
Thing is, I don't think he was fine with that. Like, sure, he the first thing he wanted was the scientist dead, but then, like, throughout his, like, basically every time he talked in the movie, he always said the end goal was to wage war on the surface, no matter what. Like, I don't think he would have stopped even if they just handed it over to the scientist and tried to work with him that way. That's just the kind of vibe he was giving off to me, and that's why I said he was, like, being a bit too demanding and controlling in his efforts to extend the branch to Wakanda. But he, like, saw a little bit of, like, himself in them, and that's why he, like, wanted to kind of take them over and have them join his forces.
I do think that if they handed the scientist over, he would have let the whole thing go.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
because it's No, go on.
Yeah, I think that's, like, definitely the major point of contention here, because I don't think he would have stopped, especially based off of, like, what his subordinate said. She was like, what? We're supposed to be waging war. You made this alliance and agreed to work with them, but you told us you would take us to war with the surface. That's why I'm here with you. That's why we worship you. And he's like, no, that's still the plan. We're still going to wage war on the surface. So I'm like...
Right, but I don't think that he counts Wakanda as the surface.
Not currently, no, correct. But, like...
Or even prior.
So yeah, with Wakanda, if they handed over the scientists, he definitely wouldn't have waged war on them. But the whole surface as a whole, he still would have went after and would have expected Wakanda to join him in that endeavor.
And let's be real though, if he wanted to wage war, he could have done that shit already, because you saw the beginning of the movie, motherfucker had his people. He had his people like hypnotizing these motherfuckers, sinking to their death.
Even in
his whole. Go on.
Like even in the main climax of the battle, like his people were fucking them up. But I think it's because, like, as part of the movie, that was like a situational advantage because they had the water there. I think he also wanted Wakanda partially because they can wage war where the Talokans can't, and also probably help them develop more technology, just be able to live without the water.
Yeah, but like it's Namor, he can bring water wherever he wants to go. Like he literally does that.
Yeah, my boy. Yeah. Yeah, so my whole thing is this fucker. If he was given discount Power Ranger, shit would have been over. He would have been like, "Cool, pack my shit, I'm done. You deal with your bullshit up there. I don't give a fuck."
I think that Power Ranger definitively says he wouldn't have done that.
I think. Wait, when was this? When was this? Because he kept mentioning to Shuri and Queen Ramonda, "Don't mention my name to your friends in other countries. Do not bring us up." Because his whole thing is fucking leave us alone. I don't give a fuck what y'all do. You give me the scientist who's fucking shit up, who's gonna get us discovered, and we're calm. And this is why when he had his whole speech with Shuri, he's like, he's showing her everything. He's like, look, this is why we need to, this scientist needs to die. Because if the surface world finds us, they're never going to leave us alone, which is kind of like parallels to conquistadors, right? To the colonizers, if you will. They found all this fucking new shit and they're like,
gold.
All right, let's just take it. Yeah, gold and crops and all that shit. Oh, let's just take it until they're bled dry, and then fuck it, we'll enslave them, which is kind of how we learned that he got his name when he saw the conquistadores. Basically, well, they weren't conquistadores, but you get me. The slave owners in Mesoamerica. So I was like, all right, I kind of saw where he was coming from, and I guess because that's more of my cultural background and like the research, and because I love the Aztec and Mesoamerican culture. So I kind of saw where he was coming from. Like, I'm not even joking. When he was fighting Shuri, I was cheering. My wife's like, "Yeah, I want Shuri to win too." I was like, "Fuck that bitch, bro! It's all about how look out for life." She's like, "What the
Mhm.
fuck?" So I guess I'm coming at it from a different perspective
Mhm.
because I didn't see his actions as a man child, more as someone who just wants his people to be isolated and survive. Sure, he could have potentially started a war, but by all accounts, he seems to have he has on repeated occasion throughout the movie held off on going all out. When he fought Wakanda in Wakanda, he didn't really go all out. Yeah, the queen died, and that was very sad.
Mhm.
But I feel like he could have continued the war because if you notice, he didn't take a bunch of soldiers when he fought. Which Shuri's battle strategy was stupid as fuck. Why are you
Yeah,
gonna go on
yeah.
a ship in the ocean? It's fine, whatever. If you saw
Yeah.
it, he didn't really have a giant army with him. He just had some people. Even
Mhm.
after they destroy that pulse the sonar thing. So
Yeah.
his whole action seemed more of someone who's just trying to be isolated, live in
Mhm.
peace, and not be bothered.
I entirely see where he's coming from, but like I think look and yeah, obviously I think him holding back is also a little bit of hubris on his aspect, but I think part of it is that it's not that I think they don't see that living like isolated is as an option because they think that it's inevitable that they'll be discovered. And you know what? It probably is. But I mean, they've gone this long without it. But that's why I think their end goal is to just wage war on the surface. And the fact that they got Thanos too, like they had to have. The fact that they didn't really do anything about that means that they're probably fine with mutually assured destruction rather than actually extending an olive branch and working with everyone. So like, um, I know why they're doing this, but I feel I just can't agree with like how extreme they're taking it because war on the world isn't like something to take lightly. Like in terms of attacking first, attacking one country alone, sure, that's different. But attacking the entire world and the way that he talked throughout the movie, like honestly, also part of this I think is because they had to push him a little to this extreme to make this conflict happen to make the movie work. Because if Namor actually was willing to talk things out at the start of the movie wouldn't have happened. Like, so I understand that he had good motivations. He had like sound reasoning behind it for a lot of it, but like, and at the end, you even saw him like reconciling with Shuri a bit and understanding her point of view, also while manipulating a bit. But it's like there wouldn't have been a movie if he was fully reasonable.
Well, think about it though. At the end, when they
Mm.
do get it to that resolution, what's the
Yeah.
resolution? Wakanda will take the fault for shit, and,
Mhm.
and Talocan will not be mentioned. Nobody will know Talocan exists.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting what he wanted, which was nobody fucking knowing what Talocan is. So I it's like I don't know, man. I could
Mhm.
see him as like arrogant and hubris, but a
Mhm.
man child, that's like that's a
I just think
step too far.
I think taking like because like I honestly that thought only came to mind because I was comparing him to Black Adam, which when you put those two side by side and seeing the movies came out like so close to each other, they're very similar because you see them making entrances into both their movies, completely thrashing and destroying everything, and being badass and sick. And that's like something you don't see too often in like superhero movies because you know you only see the villains doing that, and even then, you don't see villains that are Superman that often. Just I feel like just the setup and everything was kind of so cool with that, them just thrashing everything out of the sky and just like not necessarily being in the complete wrong about that. But then their ideologies of them wanting to protect their nation and then
Mhm.
going at any length to do so and not really wanting to talk to people about it and just like I think both of them didn't really have a solid level of emotional maturity and that's what led to most of the conflicts that they encountered. And I think that's part of their characters and why their movies happened the way they did.
I think you got to know it. You got to note with Black Adam that was like his was like he was very angry at the time, and then he was like immediately healed
Yeah.
and woke up like 10,000 years later or whatever it was. Whereas like Namor's at least
Yeah.
had like 450 years to kind of figure shit out.
He's had the
And
anger within him, but honestly, I feel like walling himself off from the world is honestly a similar type of isolation in prison. Like he was able to live with his people, but he never let that go, that fear. And And it's understandable because if the people will go after you, but
Well, I
like,
think that was also like T'Challa's point at the end of the original Black Panther movie, where he decided that that was the wrong thing to do, even if it had benefits.
yeah. hmm But yeah, so like, very interesting conflict, very fun movie, but like, dang, I wish they could have done Namor a little bit like more agreeable, but I feel like they probably will in future movies because they've already shown like even the way he was talking to his subordinate wanted war, and even though he was talking as if it was still coming, I'm not sure if he's fully into that idea at the moment anymore. Because I think Shuri probably did a good job of convincing him.
I think he's playing his cards because we know in the comics he's a anti-hero, switches sides. I do like your point about Black Adam, but the only difference I'd make is Black Adam intentionally went out to flex his power and show it off to everyone, right? Namor doing that shit in the dark, in the secret. My boy, when the fucking movie first started and there were shadows and shit, I was like, yo, we getting a Black Panther horror movie?
Yeah, like
because this shit looked good.
Film?
Yeah, I was like, all right, we good, all right.
I was like, dang, is this if Superman was evil? Like when the helicopter started being dragged back out and you can't really see him destroying stuff.
Dude, yes.
And then slowly pans up to him.
I was sure. I was like, dude, this is a horror movie. I like it.
That was sick, yeah.
I also like how he kept the suit and then he used the suit that he stole from the people he killed, so sure he could explore Talocan. I was like, my boy kind of smooth with it, but I think they'll make him because I don't think he was extreme. Because again, I agree with his actions, but I think they will make him more having like everybody kind of agree with him or
they're
agree
gonna tone
with
it
his.
down a little bit for future movies. They kind of
yeah, it's a Disney thing. Kevin Feige
they don't bring back the same.
Don't fuck with Ryan Coogler. They don't.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige is like, Ryan Coogler, do whatever the fuck you want. You know what? You made us $1 billion. You know what you're doing, okay? But in future movies, if they in it, we're gonna tone them down a little bit because my boy, you kind of made him a harm. You made him like Michael Myers. He had that Magneto mindset in the sense that like obviously he did have that hubris, but not to the extent that Magneto has it, because Magneto literally thought every mutant was like superior. This guy's like, look, don't fuck with my people. I love my people. Don't fuck with them. Don't talk to them. Don't look at them. Don't even smile, bro. Don't look the other way. So I do like that, and I do like that he mentioned I'm a mutant. I'm a fucking mutant. They finally said the M word.
They're starting
and I was like,
they did say it in Ms. Marvel already, so it's like, but this is the first on-screen time we're seeing it.
And to be completely fair,
like,
it is not the same type of mutant as our X-Men counterparts.
It's not?
No, because his clearly is a mutation that came from combining like the pregnant woman with like the star herb or whatever they were calling it. Like, it's honestly more similar to a typical superhero origin than it is like mutants are just straight up born with their powers.
I see what you mean, but like he has like he's
well, technically he was born
it's a mutation in the same way that Spider-Man is a mutation, really.
I disagree because I don't think any of the things that combined to make him would give him wings or like super strength or anything like that. I mean, I guess people did have super strength.
It kind of has to be like because his mom was human, and the only difference is the what?
M'Baku saying don't disrespect or don't just kill the fish man. I just found that shit funny.
That was funny, yeah.
I think he definitely has like the X gene or whatever makes an X-Men. I'm pretty sure he has that, but
he
also
does in the
what
comics. But like in the movies, I think it's like probably not. Or if he does, like maybe it's that plus the herb in the same context.
I'd say it's both, because like otherwise,
I think it also was what happened in Ms. Marvel because hers was like a mutation plus the bangle.
Yeah, true.
Based on what I read, I haven't actually seen the thing.
I think it's because they haven't set up the X-Men yet, so they want to give alternate explanations for mutants before they give the whole thing. They'll be like, yeah, by the way, every mutant you've seen has the X gene as well. So the X gene isn't really a good explanation for anything either. It's just kind of like there. So it's like
yeah. And I feel like if he wasn't a mutant, like an X-Men mutant, he wouldn't have said the word.
Yeah, they could have played it off as him just being like not a mutant and just like in terms of the X-Men word and just actually been like
I don't know, like I understand that from like a storytelling perspective, but like from an in-series perspective, it's the right word to use.
Yeah. And
this-
then speaking
yeah.
of TV shows, when they first said the scientist was Ironheart, I was like, oh, this is how they're gonna. Because I completely forgot until I was watching the movie that they were gonna introduce that character in here. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be shoehorned in, isn't it? But I actually thought that her dynamic with Shuri was really good, and it worked into the movie well with the parallels, just like kind of like from Black Panther 1 with like someone who's genius and like capable from Wakanda versus someone in America, and then I was on board with it all the way until we saw that final battle, her in that bright red, goofy looking suit, and I was like, all right, this feels a little bit shoehorned in now.
Yeah, I liked her She was a comic in the movie. She brought the laughs to an extent,
She
along with
bounced off
Shuri.
the other characters very well.
Yeah, she did. I liked her prototype suit. I was like, cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
The interactions, it was kind of like seeing Tony Stark and Bruce Banner back in the Avenger 1 days,
Yeah,
where they're just bouncing off ideas of each other because they're so smart. The only thing I didn't like is, like you mentioned, that stupid ass suit.
yeah.
That suit
And
is
then she's
ugly
like,
as fuck.
yeah, and in the final battle, they didn't really give her much to do, so she was just kind of there at that point. It's like, all right, yeah, there's only one
And
main villain in the movie, I guess, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I just she was cool. I just didn't like the suit.
Yeah.
What do you, King? Do you think of Riri Williams?
Sorry, just give me a second.
Oh, there you go. Beautifully said.
Very funny. I'm still eating, just FYI.
Oh, my bad. You could have said that.
Well, I mean, I was trying to say it, but then I was like eating, so it's hard to say. Anyways, and I also mentioned I was getting my pizza earlier, but yeah. In terms of the character, like I think she was fine. I mean, I have not read the Ironheart comics. I don't know if they're good or not, but I know that this is going to be like a considerable deviation because obviously Tony Stark is like a bit. Yeah, he's dead here, but like he was a big thing in her origin story. So like, I guess the Wakandans are kind of playing that role. I don't know. I thought the character was like
she still has alma mater.
Sorry?
She's still at MIT, which
I remember. Yeah, no, that's true. I just meant like he was like big on that, and I think he was even like an AI at that point or something. But
okay.
Either way, character is fine, like pretty typical American college student type of thing. I didn't really have any issues with her one way or the other. Yeah, the design of the suit looked a little bit weird. It kind of reminded me of like Blue Beetle, but red. Spidey, would you?
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Spy Kids armor they had back in the day.
It just looked like a really bad action figure. Okay. Like a bootleg action figure.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it was like the eyes or something, just like a big.
The giant hunchback looking thing, bro. That hunchback looking thing, bro. That shit looked bad.
Also those giant like deep diving suits. Those had me laughing because the pose they had.
Another thing that could have felt shoehorned in, and at times that felt like it was Louis. I don't know the middle name. Dreyfus, the new the evil Nick Fury. Yeah, the evil Nick Fury.
Yeah, no, it's not Nick Fury. Yeah.
No, evil because like you get it.
Oh,
she's getting the thermbolts ready. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, true. I like the setup. The human subplot definitely did kind of get like sidelined, but I think her role in the movie wasn't bad, and I feel like it was less shoehorned in than in like all of her other appearances so far, and just post-credit scenes, just showing up and doing shit that no one really cares about.
She kind of doing what Nick Fury did back in Phase 1. You know what I'm saying?
You know, until you put it like that, I didn't think about it, but yeah, you're right.
I feel like, based on what we saw in this movie, the Thunderbolts is probably going to feature Wakanda, and then either trying to get the vibranium from them, or
that would be so stupid. I
don't see how that would work because Bucky is supposed to be one of the Thunderbolts, and he wouldn't go against them.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah, I forgot about that. He definitely wouldn't wage war against Wakanda. He'd like literally join the other side when he found out about that.
Hey, he would have been like, you know what? Well, that's probably what happened.
A bomb in his head or something. Even then, he still probably wouldn't do it.
And my boy's like, you know what? Yeah, I'll join you. Hold on, I got to make a phone call. Yo, Wakanda, I got some dumbass motherfuckers trying to go after you, bro.
Yeah,
Y'all do what you got to do. Just act like I'm part of them. Arrest me as well. But just kill them, but don't kill me. Something like that.
mm,
Because her whole point was like, well, why doesn't America have the? And she nailed down Americans perfectly. Like, why don't we have that? We're
I
supposed
feel
to be
like
the
the
best
Thunderbolts
country,
need
right?
more to fight like actual future threats coming on. Like not necessarily Kang, but maybe like I don't know, maybe if they introduce like Doctor Doom or something, like something that's like an
But
actual
they're all
evil big threat. hmm
bro. They couldn't handle Namor. What the fuck makes you think they're gonna handle Doctor Doom, who has magic and some crazy bullshit powers?
Yo, that's why they need to turn to the rejects because they don't have anyone else. You know?
Well, I mean,
like-
I think what Spidey's saying is that Doctor Doom is just simply above the level of
Oh,
who is
yeah,
known
yeah.
to be on the
Yeah,
Thanos
no,
level.
I agree.
Because within the
like,
comics, like Doctor Doom, aside from having magic, we obviously know he is a genius on par with Reed Richards. In fact, Latveria, his country, in the context of the Marvel comics, is actually considered to be a superpower on par with Atlantis or Wakanda because Doom is just that much of a genius that he patrols the country with an
Dude.
army of like robots and like he actually invades Wakanda at one point and steals vibranium and he's even able to find ways to utilize it in ways that Shuri never thought of.
Yeah.
So
like-
apparently, no, go. Well, I was gonna just mention real quick. So apparently, there was a post-credit scene that they removed because they thought it'd be like,
Tone deaf.
not inappropriate, but yeah, kind of tone deaf because this whole movie is kind of a celebration to Chadwick Boseman and what he meant to the character and basically what the character means to so many people.
What was this?
And one of the
supposed to
producers
be?
just, one of the leakers who's been accurate said that it was gonna feature Doctor Doom.
Why would that be
I
disrespectful
gotta
to
remember
Chadwick
that leak.
Boseman?
Well, because I feel like they were just trying to have the movie be self-contained and not necessarily try to connect to everything, like
So
most
why have
Marvel
Riri
movies do.
Williams
You get
though, then?
I think what Spidey means is that like after having the ending that they did and then the other post-credit scene on top of that, having like something that just takes away from the point of that movie itself would be a little bit like backwards.
But I mean,
'cause they
that's
had a
kind of the
good-
point of post-credit scenes. Like the post-credit scene of No Way Home is literally the trailer for Multiverse of Madness.
It is,
Yeah,
but I think
but
this is different. This
the-
is
the
kind of
s-
like Endgame, where it's like the end of an era. Like that was the end of an era for Phase One Avengers. This was like the end of an era of like Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, and moving on from that. So it's like it felt different from a regular Marvel.
I mean,
movie
I
for that.
get why someone would feel that way, but I don't feel like the majority would have cared or viewed it in that manner.
that's fair, but I think they were trying to respect the director's wishes because if I remember correctly, Ryan Coogler was basically done with Hollywood in general after Chadwick Boseman died.
I think if
He
the
only
mid
just-
credits, I think if the
Well-
mid credits scene wasn't so touching, then it would have made sense to have like two different ones. One being like teasing the future and like being a joke or something, but they didn't go that route.
Yeah, because the final end scene is basically Black Panther will return.
Yeah,
They don't say
like
T'Challa will return; they say Black Panther.
Yeah, that could have even been the final scene. They could have stuck two other post-credit scene in if they wanted to, but they made the conscious choice to make that one a mid-credit scene, which made sense for it not to be one after that.
Because we were talking about Dr. Doom right now, it'd be fucking amazing if
Oh, yeah.
Black Panther 3 was Talocan and Wakanda versus Latvia
That
or
would be
whatever,
insane.
wherever. Yeah, basically Namor and the Black Panther
Teaming up against
versus
Doctor Doom and
motherfucking
Latveria, that would be interesting. Although I
Latveria,
will
yeah,
say
he's
I'm
right.
not sure that would happen, if only because
I
that
don't
movie is
either,
supposed to come out like very late, and we are going to get a Fantastic Four
Yeah.
movie before that, and he is a Fantastic Four villain, fundamentally speaking.
Yeah,
This is true, but he could also be a big bad of the Marvel universe because he's that.
Oh yeah, no, I
like-
think he will be. Like, there's literally theories that he's
Yeah.
going to be like introduced in Fantastic Four, but he'll be like the
Yeah.
final villain of like fucking Secret Wars or whatever. Like,
Yeah, so, like,
you
that-
guys saw. I'm assuming you guys saw the '90s series, right, for Spider-Man.
Yes.
No.
Okay, well,
you probably
Spidey,
did, Aaron. You don't remember.
Spidey, you remember how like it was the Beyonder who brought them all to the planet at first, and then Doom stole his powers. So basically, substitute Kang for the Beyonder, and then Doom is just Doom. That's basically what some people are thinking will be the final plot.
That's
I don't
weird.
know that that's
Okay.
going to be the case, but I think it is
Yeah.
partially plausible.
I mean, it would make sense in that Doom isn't established here that well, so like him becoming a world power at the moment wouldn't make sense, like in terms of like universal levels. So that I could see how that goes about, because like the originally way I was thinking was I was like, okay, yeah, so for the next phases they're having like one universal threat, Kang, and then one like planet level threat like Doctor Doom or something. So that's why I was thinking like the Thunderbolts would be fighting with him instead of something like Kang that's like even further beyond.
Doctor Doom would destroy these fucking Thunderbolts.
Oh yeah, he would. Yeah. Like
nothing.
they're introducing Kang to Ant-Man, and Ant-Man's not gonna solo Kang, so it's like they gotta introduce him first.
We know Kang isn't gonna die in Ant-Man because the fucking Kang dynasty is gonna happen.
Theoretically, Kang could still die because remember
it's multiple variants too, right?
Yeah,
like
so
one
that could just be
variant
the
die.
first variant that we run into.
Well, actually, the first one we ran into was that guy in the Loki series.
The second variant that we run, the first evil variant that we run into.
It's like, look, bitch, get what I mean.
Also, like just side note,
like Kang can just transfer his consciousness.
I don't know if he does that. I think he'll just like split the timeline again. Actually, I will just say, like on the side note of Doom, I really need them to cast the Fantastic Four so we can stop having them trend on Twitter every 5 fucking hours. I'm so sick of this shit. And I'll put my card in the ring to bring back John Krasinski as Reed.
Oh yeah, he was great. Although the rumors are saying he's not coming back, and I was like, dang, that's
yeah. Like there's rumors, but like there's rumors for fucking everything now. Like it's so stupid. You don't know what to believe in. I do hope that he will come. I mean, it'd be great if they had his wife Emily Blunt as Sue Storm, but she says she doesn't want to be in Marvel, which is like totally fine. Get another blonde actress to like do that and like whatever, because like I think that's just how I want them to be comic accurate. Just putting that out there. But I don't necessarily care who the actors are as long as like John sticks around.
Yeah.
So is Dwayne gonna be the thing since he's the closest thing to a Rock we got?
that would be funny,
I think
but
there's a
I doubt
conflict
it.
of interest there now.
Yeah.
Oh shit! One thing we haven't mentioned. Well, two things we haven't mentioned are the first one, Queen Ramonda. What did you guys think of her?
Great actress.
I found it very funny
really
when
good,
at the beginning of the movie.
That was basically my point. Like great actress and really good scenes in the movie.
Yeah, it kind of felt like she put on like two different characters, which is kind of insane. Like one when she was like outwardly facing, and this is what you do as a monarch. When she was outwardly facing and doing her duties, in terms of talking to like the UN and her kingdom, and then one when she was like talking to her children and stuff. So that was really good contrast there. Because at first I was like, "Is this two different characters?" I was like, "What?" But then
she made the. She was fucking built, bro. She had more muscles than fucking the Hulk. I was like, God damn, relax, bro. Relax. Y'all got the vibranium. Y'all got your Dora Milaje. You don't need to put them guns away, bro. She was too built, bro. She was too built.
And then during that scene with Shuri in the beginning of the movie, when she was like, "Oh, there's something I didn't tell you about T'Challa," and then she never gets finished her sentence, I was like, I turned to my friend and I was like, "Yo, that's a death flag right there." And then she didn't die immediately, which surprised me a little bit. But then towards the middle of the movie, you see where it's going, and I was like, "Okay, wait, this is actually a really good parallel to how T'Challa lost his father and had to step and take the mantle of the king, and now she's gonna have to do the same thing." So I just liked the way the story did that, and I think like honestly, it's a little bit better. Her origin story is a little bit better than his in that regard. It just like they did it in one movie for one, and it flowed a little nicely.
I mean, it also helps that the Queen
was
established in earlier films.
Yeah.
One thing you're talking about foreshadowing. They did foreshadow how they would beat Namor because I think it was Riri who's like, "What are we gonna do? Toast this guy to death or what?" And or use a heater, some line like that about the heater or
and then
toaster.
it actually happened.
And then it happened. I was like, "Oh well, all right, shit, my bad. I should have paid attention to that line." Yeah. And then another parallel was in the first Black Panther movie when T'Challa is talking to his dad T'Chaka, and his dad's like, "If I didn't prepare you for my death, then I failed as a father." And then in post credit scene, we see Nikita talking with her and he's like, when your Baba prepared us for his death, and I was like, oh shit, my
That
boy
makes a lot more
T'Challa.
sense. Because
Yeah,
in Isolation,
yeah,
I heard that line, I was like, that is a really weird thing to say to a child. I was like,
the kid, the kid had that $1 million smile that Chadwick had too.
yeah.
So
Mhm,
it was. I was like, damn, all right, cool. But there was like a lot of parallels to the first one
mhm.
that you pay forward, if you will, in this one with the characters in Shuri and Nikita and all that. So it was nice.
Mhm.
What did you guys think? Unless there's anything more to add here about Queen Ramonda.
Not much. Played a great role.
I got nothing else.
Shame that she died.
Did you guys like that she stripped Okoye of her rank? Or
Nah, it was
you
kind
and
of
the
BS.
It felt very forced, but at the same time, we
Yeah.
know that they needed to do it because they were setting up the Okoye spin-off TV show or whatever it's called.
Oh.
wait, there's a
Yeah, I
spin-off
had no
show?
idea about
I
that.
would
Yeah, because she got that Midnight
there's-
Angel armor, the blue thing.
Yeah, and a new name.
She's gonna basically be her own
Yeah.
superhero.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
But like, I guess
'cause
I will
felt
say at the end, it's also
Mhm.
like a question as to like, well, why doesn't Shuri just like rehire her, so to speak?
Yeah, I was about to say, Shuri's in charge now. She can just do that if she wants. She's queen.
Well,
Like,
no, because Shuri gave up that shit. Remember, M'Baku was the one fighting for King at the end.
We don't know for sure.
I think
but
it
yeah,
is implied
she-
that they're splitting up the protector and the
roles.
ruler role.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But do you guys see M'Baku as a king?
Well,
Like, I
apparently behind the scenes they did actually state that during the 5 years where T'Challa was snapped, it was
Oh.
actually M'Baku who was taking over the ruling of the kingdom. So he's probably capable.
don't. Okay, that's fair.
And
Then.
think,
'Cause, like,
and think about how he acted in this movie. He was more calm.
he was
Yeah,
calm
he
when
still
he was
had his.
talking to Shuri. When he was outwardly, he was just like, "Fuck that fish! I'm gonna kill that."
Yo,
guy.
I was fucking dying when we called
yeah.
Okoye bald. Like, why is no one pointing this out too?
He was outwardly like that, but then when he saw the fish man,
Yeah.
because you got to respect what M'Baku says, you know. When he saw the fish man, he was like, you know what, fish man's strong.
Mhm.
This motherfucker, and then he's like, there's no point in killing him because the people see him as a god, and what are the
Yeah.
people gonna do if you kill their god? They're just gonna fucking come after you.
And then later on, he was like, "Yo, I don't want all of you in my kingdom. Get away from here." So he's like, I was kind of seeing some like back and forth from him on that, but I guess that kind of makes sense.
I was like, all right, Namor, all right, relax with your wanting your fucking island, but your place to yourself. But I think that'd be a good dynamic. That way, because you could tell he doesn't
Really want to be
care. Yeah, really care to be that. So that was it. I just wish there was more M'Baku because the scenes he was in, he kind of elevated them and made them better.
I had a feeling they were gonna downplay him again because I feel like they just always do that to him.
Well, in the first one, he got a good chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
And then this one
the
they just
Wakandan
downplayed him.
army
I guess
is
they're
like
like
really inconsistent across the movies. It's like they're relatively small in their first movie. They're relatively small in Infinity War, but then they're fucking massive in Endgame, and then they're like small again here. Like I don't know what the situation is with them.
I feel like they actually had like
bro.
more tech and more like threat in Infinity War than they did in this movie.
I don't know, man, but fuck it. What did you guys think of Shuri's? Well, we know she gets the Black Panther role.
Yeah,
she
her
is
power
the
arc
Black
was pretty
Panther.
good. I thought that was very well executed. Although the one thing I don't like is that like I mostly avoided trailers for the most part. Like even though I watched the first one, I didn't really like take it in that much, so I didn't really know what to expect of this movie going in. But then it's like a couple days before I started seeing some like promo images of just like her and the Black Panther. So I was like, all right, well this is happening. But like if you go to a movie blind, you're not actually sure what's gonna happen. I feel like they should have emphasized that more because the turning point when you see her mother die.
I feel like most
her
people.
working on the
I don't know.
herd.
I thought a lot of people were already speculating on that anyway, because there's literally no one else who could take the role.
I did go with casuals. They're like, yo, maybe it could be M'Baku or something. I was like,
I doubt that.
I wish it was M'Baku, bro.
Well, that'd be interesting. But let's also remember, like, the Black Panther is specific to like the ones who worship their Panther goddess, but his tribe worships the ape god.
Yeah. But then the other thing is like they also were still kind of keeping it ambiguous that they might just go with not having a Black Panther because like I mean, I think Shuri could honestly hold her own without the formula and just like do her own tech thing. But like, yeah,
That shit was fucking funny. And she's like, it didn't work. Didn't work. Fuck. She
Yep.
punches that shit. Riri and Nikita were like, shit.
They're like,
I
it
was
worked.
like, hey, imagine she would have punched Nikita. Homegirl would be dead
Yeah.
as fuck.
Actually,
find it-
speaking of,
No, go on.
so I was thinking the scene right before that when they had her going into the and see the ancestor. I was wondering who they were gonna put on that throne because
Yeah.
I feel like if this was like Disney executives in charge of this, they would have AI'd Chadwick Boseman there. Like,
Well, they already
Oh,
said that they weren't
1000%.
going to do that, right?
they said that,
No,
but
no, Kevin Feige said
Yeah.
that, but Bob Cheapskate don't give a fuck.
like,
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
like,
first
that
of all,
is-
you can't say it's a cheapskate if they're CGIing it in. That would be expensive as shit because they don't have any existing footage that they could use in that manner. I would assume.
I was saying cheapskate because he didn't want to pay Scarlett Johansson the money because
yeah.
it went to digital. So
I thought you meant cheapskate because using someone's image means that you don't actually have to pay a person anymore, and you can have
You
like
have
a
to pay their
stand-in actor
estate,
and just
though.
put their face over. It depends because they don't pay Mark Hamill for using his face and voice when they de-age people anymore.
No, well,
Like,
that
they used him
Mark
once-
Hamill for the Mandalorian, he went on set to do that.
For one appearance, I'm pretty sure in future ones he didn't do that. And then for
Yeah, I don't know
like
about
Darth Vader's voice, I don't think they pay for Darth Vader's voice anymore.
They don't pay
even though
James
they
Earl Jones for
resynthesize-
doing Darth Vader's voice. What?
No,
he
like,
retired
When did he retire?
recently.
Like they used in Kenobi, they used.
Yeah, I
the
thought he came
voice
back
without-
to just like splice his voice with Hayden Christensen.
No, it was fully synthesized from a computer program.
This is true. I remember.
So
reading
like,
this.
I see what you mean in terms of cheapskate because they have the software, technology, and everything ready there. And I've heard like that they're like literally just building databases of their actors for this purpose.
But-
So like that's why I'm like seeing Chadwick Boseman up there. I'm like, all right, I know the director wouldn't do this, and all the marketing
yeah.
said they wouldn't.
I
do this. So I was like,
I told you. Ryan Coogler could do whatever the fuck he wants in a Marvel movie, and Kevin Feige ain't gonna tell. Kevin Feige's
Yeah.
like, dude, do your thing. And Bob Chapek, I call him cheesesteak. He's
yeah,
gonna be like, you know what? I'm not gonna fuck with this guy because he's making us $1 billion.
yeah,
He came back for us. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Do what you want. And
yeah.
one thing, if you follow Ryan Coogler's directing career,
Mhm.
he loves working with Michael B. Jordan. It's like
Fruitvale
it's
Station
like
and the Creed.
fucking yeah. Fruitvale
Okay.
Station, Creed, Black Panther. There was another thing he was in with him as well.
Mhm.
It's like DiCaprio with that one director. What's his name?
Scorsese.
Whatever the director. Yeah, there you go. Scorsese and DiCaprio. So basically, when you have one, most likely to see the other. So when they brought him back, I was like, okay, cool. And then you realize Shuri's mentality at that up to that point in the movie was like Killmonger-esque, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was a really good like reveal / shift in the tone of the movie there. Because like I was like, okay, they could put her mother on the throne, that would make sense. They could put her father there, but he's so far removed at this point. So I was like, who can they put on this throne? Because they like ideally Chadwick Boseman wouldn't have been dead, and this movie would have happened like if it like then he would have been on the throne if this is how the movie was naturally supposed to go, and that would have been nice. But like that wasn't gonna happen. That's not how this could go. So going the Killmonger angle was actually really nice. And that's what kind of sold me on like her story.
And then because you see her, Killmonger straight up says, so what, you're gonna be noble like your brother? Or you're gonna get shit done? And I was
to an
like,
extent, she's afraid of becoming like him.
I would agree with you if we had not seen like 2 minutes later her saying, fuck that shit, yeah, I'm gonna kill them all.
Yeah, but like
Obviously,
she didn't
I'm
reveal it was
paraphrasing.
Killmonger there, like when asked. So it's like she was like ashamed / afraid of that to an extent.
I don't think she was ashamed. I think she was more scared of what people's reaction would be towards her. Because
I don't
then
think
they'd
she
be
cares
like,
what people think.
well, if the whole country turns against you, you're gonna care.
That's
If she had told M'Baku and company, I saw Killmonger, we talked, and now we're going to war. Well, it'd be like, okay, well, are you going to war because you feel is right, or because you like Killmonger?
I don't think it goes that deep. I think it's like a cognitive dissonance thing. Like you want revenge, you think you're personally justified in this, but you don't want to see yourself as someone who you despise, because that's the man who killed her brother. That's the man who did all these terrible things to her in her life, and like she's been blaming him for a lot of the fallback and just everything that happened after the fact. So I think it's less what other people think and more she doesn't want to be the man that she despises, but she
But
still
you
wants
call
to
name,
take back shit.
but you call Namor a man child. K, buddy, K.
I mean, the thing is, Shuri still has that level above where she, like, until she had stuff taken from her, sure, she was trying to take the moral high ground, but even in the end, she did spare him. If Namor was winning that fight, he wouldn't have spared her.
Namor probably would have spared her because his whole conflict, as he mentioned throughout the movie, was join me, help us stay isolated, give us the
He would
fucking
have,
scientists.
he would have
He
spared
would
her
have.
if they agreed to go to war. That's, like, if he said yield, that's what the terms would have been.
I still think he would have, if it would have been the other way around, he would have been like, give me the scientists, you don't have to die. If she wouldn't have given him the scientists,
He
homegirl would have
wouldn't have.
died.
She would have died. Yeah, like,
No, because and I disagree because remember he stabs her through the chest.
Mhm.
Well, not through the heart, but through like the rib area where she could still bleed out, right?
Yeah.
He could have very easily stabbed her in like the chest area as opposed to where he did, and then homie was just trying to like
well, he's
collapse his
also like
way
half
to
dying there. If he thinks the job is done, he needs to get himself living, or else they're both gonna die here.
I don't think he thought she was dead though, because
I think he did that. Like even I did. Like that's a pretty definitive blow, you know. Like Star Wars,
Fair.
that happened to Han Solo.
yeah, but Han Solo was like 70 or 80.
Yo, it's a Star Wars. Everyone's force sensitive.
We don't talk about this there. Star Wars only exists in the Mandalorian, and that's it. I do like. I'm gonna go back to the Queen. I do like how when we first see her in the UN and everybody's like, "Yo, Wakanda want to share their shit. What the fuck?"
Mhm.
Wakanda's like, "There's a reason. Y'all fuck it. Y'all fuck around too much.
Yo,
Y'all
I
fuck
thought it was
around
the
and you found
Americans
out."
dating. When they showed it was the French, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, the American man stayed quiet as fuck right after that. He was like, "You know what? I'm just gonna let the director and the Wakanda Connect figure out when we could get some vibranium, because fuck that shit." Publicly ridiculed the French in public, bro. If I was in France, I would be like, no, you can't. This movie's not allowed to air here. Disrespecting us like that.
I
And
also read
then
something that was like, oh yeah, this movie's probably gonna be banned in China because they showed a bi relationship or a
Lesbian.
lesbian relationship.
It's literally like one
Is it
kiss
gonna
at the
ban
end. They're so sensitive.
I didn't even notice the kiss. I just saw like two characters there. I was like, oh, okay, that's it, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. It wasn't even a forced, because sometimes movies like force these relationships and shit. Yeah, it was subtle, like normal, quote unquote, right? It was like just a typical.
Wasn't like
I was like,
token
all
piece,
right,
it's just there.
I was like, what the whatever. I was like, typical China.
Mhm.
And I do like how
It's not surprising
Queen
either. They
Ramonda in
banned the
beginning
Eternals
was-
from like the same thing in like a bunch of Middle Eastern countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sensitive over this shit. One thing I didn't like about Queen Ramonda is like we hear the whispers. They don't have a protector because they don't have the Black Panther. And she's like, look, bitch, I'm their protector. Here are your fucking soldiers. Next time it'll be an act of war and y'all gonna die. And everybody was just like quiet, and I was like, damn, bro. I was like, don't fuck with Wakanda. Like, could have just left them alone, but the French ain't gonna be doing shit like that again. What did you guys think of Namor's name origin?
His what?
The origin of his name in the movie?
Oh, I was laughing.
I thought it was clever.
I thought it was
clever, but I was
sense.
also
That's
like,
also why they're pronouncing it differently, because the original is just Roman spelled backwards because it was Atlantis in the comics, and that's more based on the Greek and Roman like cultures were here. This one's Mesoamerican, so it's Sin Namor. So Namor, yeah, it makes sense to me.
Although they were kind of mixing the pronunciations in the movie, like even he.
But
said
I
my
think
name
that's
is
really
Namor.
common with people's names, though, and I think all three of us
Oh
can
yeah,
attest
no, I
to
do that
that.
with my name. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Spanish, you could
Mhm.
pronounce the name like 5 different ways and still be technically correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I liked
I found
how
it
he,
funny that he as a kid was just like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'm taking that. Slash, I just got insulted, but I'm gonna make that my
I
own. Like, dang.
I don't think he chose the name as a kid.
Mhm.
I think as he
It
grew
stuck with
up,
him.
it stuck with it like you know that one insult that you get as a child,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they're like, "All right, you little bitch, I'm gonna remember that shit. All right, what's my name gonna be? You know what? Just to piss you off, this is
Bitch.
my name."
Yeah, like what
So
Deku did.
yeah, exactly. Like Deku, like
I'm
yeah,
so
My Hero
pissed
Academia.
Deku did that. I'm like, bro, really?
Like yeah, oh, Quirk lives Deku, and then he's like, you know what? Fuck you. My name's Deku, bitch. What you gonna do now? So I like and El Niño Sin Amor, and I'm pretty sure because I think it also stuck with him because he was trying to bury his mom in her native land,
Mhm.
right? And he was a child, so and then this fucking this guy is I forgot what they're called, uh, mulatto something. I forgot. Basically, the Mexican slave owner or his
Mhm.
or Mesoamerican slave owner, was like, yeah, you
You're
were
a child
creation of the
without no love, or
devil.
whatever they kept calling him, the child of Satan and
Yeah,
stuff.
el niño sin amor, and then you see Namor, okay, and then that's how you like King said. Some call him Namor, some Namor,
Yeah. I'm
Fishman,
wondering if he has a last name in the
Kulkan.
movie because I found out that he does have a last name in the comics and it's like hilariously
Well,
generic.
I think that's also because in the comics, like he is basically
Yeah, yeah,
Aquaman.
it's
He's like
different.
half human. He has like a human dad, so whatever
Yeah,
it
I'm like
was,
wondering
that makes sense.
if they're
It'll,
gonna give him a canonical last name in the movie or not at some
I
point.
doubt it.
it'll probably be if they do, it'll probably be a stereotypical Hispanic name like
Yeah.
Enriquez,
Mhm.
Hernandez, Gonzalez,
Yeah.
some shit like that.
Probably not,
Mhm.
because if he's Mesoamerican, he would have got there before the Spanish, so it would have been like an ancient Mayan type of name.
Mhm.
Yes, but I feel like Marvel wouldn't try to make it that because it'd
Yeah.
be like some people won't understand this shit. Let's
I
just
mean, they've
make it
already
so people
given him
all
two
understand.
names, I guess. So
I don't
like,
know. That seems like
like the
not
name of the
necessary
Serpent
worry.
God.
Yeah, the serpent god.
Kultan. Yeah, that was. I think I said it right.
I don't
Should
know.
have
Yeah.
guessed.
You'd know it better than I would.
I just loved the fucking Mesoamerican feel to it because we don't see that a lot in movies.
Yeah, yeah,
It
it's very
was
rare to see that. Take the spotlight.
and the statue, the imagery, the art. I like at the end how they have Namor fighting the Black Panther and he's drawing it in his I guess his office. We'll call it his office.
Oh, he was doing that. Okay. Yeah, I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
he was drawing that. It was
Mhm.
I just like that shit.
Yeah, that was a really nice touch.
Um, but yeah, what else is there to talk about? I feel like we talked about all the key points.
I think we've about covered it.
We talked about Shuri, her growth, her connection
Mhm.
to Namor a bit, Killmonger's involvement, the mutant. Um, there's not much more we could actually talk about. So, um, we could just give our final scores and then call it a day.
Yeah.
King.
Good Marvel movie, definitely above average. I did actually like it more than the original one. I would give it a
Yeah.
solid 8.25.
This guy in his quarters.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. I was just gonna
Air.
go. I'm just gonna go 8 out of 10. Solid.
Okay, I give it a 9 out of 10. I really liked the movie. Like Air said in the beginning, it didn't feel like it
Mhm.
dragged too long.
Yeah.
You understand every character's motivation. You see the growth in some characters, and then if you watch the first movie before watching the second one, you see some of the parallels and the through lines overall. it was probably one of the better Marvel Phase 4 movies, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Not a high bar.
I'm not counting Spider-Man. It's not, but we do have like hits like Shang-Chi, which was incredible.
Yeah, it goes Spider-Man, Shang-Chi. It's hard to put
I
like
give it.
Spider-Man above Shang-Chi.
I'm gonna give it like
like
a No Way Home first, and then
Yeah.
probably Wakanda Forever, then Shang-Chi.
I
feel
love
like No Way
Shang-Chi so
Home-
much. So like,
I feel like No Way Home is kind of cheating though, because it brings
Yeah.
every fucking Spider-Man.
But that's
and
why it's
like,
great.
yeah.
oh, 1000%. But if I don't include No Way Home, it'll probably be top 2.
I think
As
it's
much
number
as I
one if
like
there's
Doctor-
no Way Home.
Yeah.
I don't care what Twitter says.
Yeah.
Twitter's trying to convince everyone that No Way Home was like secretly bad or whatever. It's like, fuck you guys.
They're fucking stupid
They
if
are.
they actually are thinking that. Yeah, no, this movie was top notch.
Mhm.
Some people are gonna bitch about, oh well, why did they have to include another group of color as another superpower? It's like, bro, that shit happens in
Actually, the
history
part
all
about
the
that, I was
time.
laughing. I was like, "Dang!" They said Black Panther had like already fought like the Americans / colonists. Like, what do we fight next? We have them fight another ethnic group. I'm like, ah.
There was a critic who said that Namor had too many scenes, that they should have cut some of his
Who
scenes.
said that? I want
I
to
was
read that
like,
shit.
bro, I was like,
No,
you could
that
have literally
developed him. It was
cut.
good.
Yeah, his
I was
scenes
like,
were
you could have
great, dude.
literally cut Ross and Dreyfus's scenes because they added to the story, but we didn't really need them.
Mhm.
But you're over here talking about, yo, you know what? The main villain, let's cut some of his scenes just because he ain't white. I was like, get the fuck out of here with that. That shit was
Yeah,
so.
like,
That shit was
the human part like could have honestly been cut out a bit more if they wanted to.
I didn't even mind
exactly.
the stuff with Everett Ross and the others.
I didn't mind it. I thought I like the character, I like the subplot, but like kind of went
Oh yeah,
nowhere
yeah,
unless they're like trying to set up, which they probably.
yeah, yeah. That like it didn't add, it didn't detract from anything, but it was just there.
I
They
think
could
the
have
one
cut
thing.
some of it.
Mhm.
They could have just cut some of it, and it would have still been the same. But these people, because some people agreed with the guy who was his critic, cut some of the Namor scenes.
Mhm.
Like, no, bro, you could have literally cut some of the Ross and the Dreyfus scenes, and even the random shit with when Dreyfus was in the kitchen of Ross talking for like an hour, like half an hour. It felt like half an hour. Like, dude, we didn't need this shit. You could have cut that. Just show him in handcuffs because he
My-
was a.
My friend saw that scene and he started bursting out laughing because and then he explained to me later he came up with this headcanon that I could half follow. So like I'm gonna come up with my sane-minded theory. So I was just like, yeah. So she put those handcuffs there because she's just theatrical that way and she wanted to be slick about it. My friend's thought was, yo, why did she know there were handcuffs exactly in that drawer a year after they divorced in the kitchen? That's a weird place to put. I don't. Like, bruh, you're thinking way too far into this.
Logic follows, bro. Sound logic. Just saying. Sound logic.
No.
Sound logic. He's coming home from a date. He needs to get the handcuffs ready. I'm just saying, sound logic. Uh, but yeah, going back to the quick ranking of the Phase 4 movies, we have Shang-Chi, No Way Home, and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Clear, we all three agree those are the top 3, right? There's no disagreement there.
Overall, yeah, like I debate the order, but yes.
Yeah. As much as I love
Oh, no,
Doctor
no,
Strange's
yeah.
character, yeah, I do think Black Panther was a better movie
What?
than Doctor Strange was.
Well, Doctor Strange is basically WandaVision, the movie.
Don't
But
put it like
that's
that.
I mean, am I wrong though? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Am I though?
It had its moments.
Who was the villain of the movie?
It had its moments, but it definitely could have been a better movie.
It just could have had a better villain. That's all. That's my main gripe.
I mean,
with
I
it.
think there's a lot of stuff they should have done better, but yeah.
Yeah.
It could have focused on Doctor Strange for once instead of everybody else. But anyway, we have Doctor Strange 2. We have what other movies? The Eternals,
Eternals, that was at the bottom for me.
The best Thor movie.
Black
Yeah.
Widow, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yep.
Yeah, those 4. Which one out of those 4 would you say is the worst?
Black Widow.
Maybe Eternals,
Black Widow,
but Black
yeah.
Widow is a
I
contender.
liked Eternals. I thought it was
I
solid.
didn't care for Eternals at all.
Mm.
You didn't like the one sex scene that Marvel has had ever?
I don't care
Mm.
about sex scenes.
It was monumental.
Yeah, and it probably created a monument with all the fucking shaking, but I don't care.
Oh, that's true. You would remember that. I forgot.
That is my memory.
So we got. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of good movies.
This has
like,
been a weak phase, honestly.
You know,
I thoroughly enjoyed them. They're at the very least better than Phase 1.
I disagree wholeheartedly. Doctor Strange, WandaVision, Boogaloo, easily
No, like,
worse. Easily
what?
worse than any. It's easily worse than Thor 2.
No,
What?
I don't agree with that
No.
one. No, Thor 2 is boring.
I
No.
do. So,
And
and
also,
have you
that's
seen
phase
Doctor
2.
Strange 2?
Yeah, that's phase 2. It's not phase 1.
I was considering the worst movie ever. Phase 1 for me didn't really have a bad movie. Thor was good. Iron Man was
Phase
good.
1 was just kind
Incredible
of
Hulk.
boring.
I think
and
Iron Man
uninteresting.
2 was
I'd
very
say
boring.
Was that Phase 1 or
That
Phase
was
2?
Phase 1.
Phase 1. Iron
Before
Man
the
was the
Avengers.
one. Only one of the
shit.
two Phase 1s.
Damn, look at this
And
motherfucker.
Hulk
I'm
was
glad he's dead.
also Phase 1. The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's another revision.
yeah. It wasn't that.
Anyone going back to argue that the Incredible Hulk was secretly like really good when it was actually just like barely average.
No.
No, it was mediocre, but it was still better than Doctor Strange
I
2.
don't agree.
No, I'm too much of a Doctor Strange fan to say that.
I don't even like.
Well, I'm glad
I just think that
you're a Doctor Strange fan. So why did you like the movie? It's all about Wanda. This entire fucking movie's about Wanda.
Oh, I
And,
actually think
oh
Wanda was
boy.
underdeveloped in the movie. I thought she was like barely in it.
Doctor Strange is the entire premise, and this movie was, oh my god, I can't get over this girl that I fell in love with, and then I
Wanda
fucked it
wasn't a
up with.
character in the movie. She was just a plot device. Like,
She was, yeah, she was. I did like America Chavez.
yeah, she was good.
I liked the Illuminati. And then Reed
multiverse
Richards
shit.
talked like a dumbass and got everybody killed.
John Krasinski was good in the role, and that's why he should come back.
Yeah, he read the lines very well.
Yes.
For a character who should be so smart, he was so stupid to tell her, oh, you know what?
That's not.
He could kill you
I
with his
think that's
voice.
more of a nitpick. She was gonna destroy him anyways. Like,
probably, yeah.
She didn't know She didn't know those characters though. She
that
had never
literally
met Black Bolt.
doesn't matter. She's strong enough to have that not be a factor. They made her unnecessarily strong in that movie. She was like a force of nature, really.
This is true. But still, it was a Wanda movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, cool. At least we agree Shang-Chi, No Way Home, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever were the cream of the crop. Where would you rank Wakanda Forever overall? Like, you don't have to give specifics of what's ahead, but it was like top 5, top 10.
What number 1 is for me.
No, overall.
Oh, overall in all of Marvel? Fuck. I mean, I don't know.
All of Marvel.
Top 15, I don't know.
Yeah, top 15 is pretty fair.
I'm like really attached to my top 10 and top 5, even though I don't have them off the top of my head. I know it's like, it has to like really make a big impression. As much as I liked it, it doesn't like, it's not a movie I'd watch like a million times like some of my top 10s.
Yeah, I made like a top 10 list like right before Endgame came out, so Endgame wasn't actually on it. So I remember what I had back then, but right now, obviously it would change because subsequently we've had Endgame, we had No Way Home, we had Far From Home, even we had like this one. Shang-Chi probably wouldn't be top 10.
Like Spider-Man having 3 movies just kind of already makes that list hard.
Yeah, there's only one Spider-Man movie on my top 5 or top 10 from Marvel. We're being honest. This is a good idea then. Next week is Turkey Day for
Americans. What about it?
Next week?
This not this week coming, the week after.
Wait, sorry.
Okay.
Isn't it? I'm sorry.
Not next weekend, but the weekend after that.
Sorry, isn't it the 24th for you guys?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah.
So not this weekend, but the next weekend. We could do a top 10, top 15 list where we just talk about our top 15 Marvel movies.
I would be
for
down
projects.
For
It doesn't have to be a movie.
I think we should keep it to movies, though. I'll be honest, I don't think TV
Yeah.
shows would factor in for me anyway.
They wouldn't break into my list. I'm sorry.
I mean, Doctor Strange would probably be below all the movies and shows.
Bro,
Doctor
oh,
Strange
okay.
2.
See, you didn't
Doctor
specify the
Strange
second
2.
one, so I thought you meant the first, and I was like, hold on.
No, the first one's pretty good. The first one's pretty good.
Generally.
Not gonna lie to you, the first one's pretty good. The only reason Doctor Strange 2 might not be at the very bottom is because of Wong. Wongers is the GOAT. Right?
No, we need
He's
that
the
party girl back in
mystical.
another production.
It's
I
Madison
honestly
with
do
a
not give a
Y.
single shit about her.
No, like she's funny as hell. We need more like lightheartedness, but not in the like serious moments. Like it's either fully serious or fully lighthearted.
Mhm.
We need a Madison and Michael Pena's character spin
No,
off.
do we need?
Both of them interacting with
We've
Wong.
talked about this. We need like all of them together. Like those
Oh, we need more Michael Pena
Herman
back.
from
I can't wait
the
till Ant-Man for that
Eternals,
reason.
Jimmy Woo.
He's not in Ant-Man 3 there.
Am I even gonna watch that movie
I will.
then?
Yeah,
I
he's
would-
not in Ant-Man
like-
3.
What do you mean he's not in Ant-Man 3?
He mentioned he confirmed that he's not in the movie. They didn't want him back.
I doubt that's the reason.
All right, cool. Don't believe me.
I
He literally mentioned that they did. Well, I don't know if he mentioned it, but somebody mentioned that they didn't want him back, and I know he confirmed that he is not back for Ant-Man 3 or Ant-Man and the Wasp 2. Because it's not even an Ant-Man movie no more. It's an Ant-Man and the Wasp sequel. So yeah. All right. Well, wait. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything like died. I was like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah, your mic changed a bit.
Oh, my bad.
Also, I'm reading from like articles from like 3 months ago. People were asking him, he was like kind of hinting at it, but he wasn't confirming or denying. So yeah,
he's
they're
not
like,
listed on the
are
Wikipedia
you-
page, so I can believe that he's not in it.
He's-
But I doubt that we don't want Michael Pena because like why wouldn't you want that guy? But I think that is
So like he was asked on a
I think
podcast
it's
or something.
plausible that's like
and
maybe he's just not his character just isn't important to this plot, which I think is fair because like this plot does
Yeah.
seem to take place entirely in the quantum realm based on the trailer. So
Yeah,
I can see.
it says he's been quiet about it when asked about the possibility of him reprising the role. His only response was, "I don't know why people ask," and that sounds to me like it's like a given that he'll be in it in some capacity.
Yeah.
But
It can also just be like
Yeah.
an uncredited
What-
cameo.
I don't think they'd leave him uncredited for that. Like,
Bro, Michael Pena's character easily solos Kang, bro. Easily solos.
yeah,
That's why
just
he's not in the
shrink
movie.
him down, have him go up, Kang.
That's fucking.
Bring
yeah.
it back.
Bring it back. Yeah, this movie was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Once you get all over the emotion, was your theater quiet too in the very beginning?
Chadwick Boseman stuff. Yeah,
There was a lot of applauding. I don't personally applaud at movies, but like there was like applauding with the Chadwick Boseman tribute in the Marvel logo, applauding at the very end scene.
so for my theater, it was
'cause-
there was silence in the beginning, except for like people eating popcorn and stuff. And at the end, when they said like
So you
dedicated
just,
to our
you
friend,
just have sensitive ears.
actually probably, but at the end there was actually like relative quiet when they showed the Chadwick dedicated to our friend Chadwick Boseman. I'm the one who started my theater's clap.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like oh, you're that guy. You
That
clap
guy.
when the plane lands.
No, I do not clap when the plane lands. Fuck
I-
people who clap when the plane
First
lands.
of
They
all,
can go crash in the plane for all I care.
At least with them, someone in your vicinity did something for you. With a movie, the director isn't there. Who's taking this applause?
No, it's a show of appreciation. That's why they
Yeah,
literally
Eric,
like.
get it
That's why they
together.
make space. Like they have pauses after a character says something funny. So it's like because they know the audience is going to laugh,
Mhm.
and they don't want you to
Laughing and cheering, I get. Clapping is like just a different commitment.
I don't
for
think
me.
it is.
I like I told Eric, we were in not him and me, but me and my wife were at a theater, AMC theater over here. It had like
Yeah, I was
3
at AMC as well.
stories. And 3 levels of it. So to get to the second level, you need to take stairs. To get to the third, you need an elevator. We were at the second level, nobody was fucking talking or not, bro. You could hear a pin drop. That's how quiet it was when the Marvel logo started, and you see just Chadwick Boseman is there. And then during the funeral scene, everybody was fucking quiet. And then there was a little kid who was like, "No, Black Panther died, no." And I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch! I'm already getting emotional, and you're over here saying this shit. Let's get your shit up." And then at the end, with the I would call it a montage, the little montage of Chadwick when she's burning the gown, again silence. And then when it finally ends and it says Black Panther will return, everybody started clapping. So I kind of get what King is saying. But yeah, everybody was quiet. There was no cheering, so I don't know.
Yeah, there was no cheer in
know.
my.
Yeah, it was mostly quiet. Yeah.
So yeah, it was nice. It was like everybody realized what the fuck was going on. It was like, you know what? Let's save the applause and the laugh for when something else happens. One thing we didn't talk about, Air, fuck, the Dragon Ball Z pose. Toriyama took his fucking moves from Namor.
What?
The hand pose.
Oh,
Namor's
okay.
Yeah, the hand pose.
Yeah, Toriyama didn't
Yeah,
get
you
that
get.
from Marvel.
It was a joke because I'm saying in the movie, in the universe, he's like 500 years old, right?
Yeah,
On
nobody-
screen.
Yeah, honestly, it looked kind of different, so I didn't even like make that connection at first because like they were kind of inconsistent. Sometimes they did like the hands disjointed, sometimes they did them together. So I was like, which one is it?
I think it's just a little bit of both, depending on the day.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just laughing because I'm like, dang, they just told these actors to do shit with their hands and they didn't like.
I kind of like that there was variety.
I don't know if
to
you
it.
guys have played
Yeah.
it, but like that actually reminded me of the spirit reading from Final Fantasy X.
Have not played it.
Who plays Final Fantasy?
People who
I played
never
7
mind.
Remake.
I mean, that's different, Air. That's different because you played it for Tifa.
I mean, yeah.
That's the only reason I pre-ordered the fucking game so I could get that premium theme. I'm just kidding. Or was it? No, I was kidding. Yeah, I just like that Wakanda has their little thing with the arms, and now Talocan has their thing with the hands. I'm expecting.
Oh, at first when you said
called?
arms, I was like, wait, do they have a thing with like replacing people's arm with metal or something? Like, because I just my mind went to Winter Soldier for some reason. I was like, wait, with the arms.
You know what? I respect that because it's accurate. Latveria, I expect something with their feet in Latveria. We got the arms are Wakanda, bro. You can't be taking that shit. Hands, I'm sorry, Namor claimed it, bro. You gotta do something with your feet, like fucking hopscotch or some shit. You'll get
That
it.
time when Shuri at the end said Wakanda forever, I was shaking, I was cheering, I was crying. They said the thing. They said the they said the title.
So what are we? Some kind of Wakanda forever? We're fucking assholes. I love it. I'll say this about Shuri. I did like her character growth. She a stupid ass general, bro. She a stupid ass leader. How you gonna send your people on a fucking boat?
It was a cool reveal at first, but then you're like, wait a second. Did we think this through?
And then you're really like, did we really think this through?
If she didn't win that fight, her people would actually just be wiped out right now.
You're not wrong because her people were literally surrounded. I was more worried about M'Baku as I kill them all except M'Baku. Leave my boy alone. And then we just see her and Namor there, and he's like, Talocan, my Talocans.
I was like, is he gonna get there in time to stop him?
Oh, that would have been funny. Just throw them all off. There's no, I just so again, Shuri a stupid ass leader, bro. Love her character development, love her character growth. I loved the idea of her being Black Panther and trying to find that balance between Killmonger and T'Challa. Be somewhere in the middle. But come on, my boy, how it's like when Mavis sent the Dragon Slayers and Fairy Tail to a flying ship. Like, what the fuck you doing, bro? And the Alvarez arc. Like, what are you doing, bro? You know they're motion sick. But That's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to add, or is King gonna do his signature intro outro?
Do we want to call Dav and Marissa back, or just kick the podcast off? Well, end the podcast. Sorry.
Not really.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I mean, we can if
I
you
don't know.
want.
I'm not sure. Do they want to be brought back?
Doubt it. I think they left.
No, they're there.
they're just
Or some sort of definite squad.
I'll do it just for the sake.
I'll never forgive Will Smith for saying that. So what are we? Some sort of
Please
squad?
don't.
My favorite line in all of cinema.
No, my favorite line in all of cinema, both any medium, is "No, Barry, we are."
That's not cinema.
Oh yeah, Wakanda forever. Yeah. Amazing. I love the part with the thing. Yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
Dude, we didn't talk about the ankles. We didn't talk about the flying ankles.
Yeah, man. You know what? I can't believe we didn't talk about it.
Oh, yeah. I
Didn't have
forgot.
anything to say about that.
Nah, yeah. Yo, no, Dad, get the fuck out. We gotta talk
Oh
about
my
this.
god. Okay.
Wait, actually,
Marissa,
what?
Y'all could say I don't really care because
Whatever.
y'all probably.
Bro, when she ripped his ankle wing off, I was like, what
Dude,
the fuck?
At first, I was like, "That's a hate crime. That's a fucking hate crime. Don't disrespect my boy Namor like that. That's rude." And then we see that he's still like able to like move with it. I was like, "All right, still a hate crime, but you know what? I hope you get your ass kicked."
And she had to fly him in on her ship because he just didn't grow those back yet.
I wonder if he will grow it back or
I
if
doubt
it's.
I'm sure it'll grow back, right?
I don't know, bro. I don't study that type of physiology.
Yeah.
They could have made it really goofy looking, but they made it look like menacing as shit.
Yeah, right. Like they first showed, I was like, okay, this is some Hermes bullshit, but also this is like, it would have been goofy if they didn't make him look so cool in the movie, and they just had him like bouncing off the air, like as if he was like jumping off platforms that just weren't there. I was
Probably
like,
Yeah, he was like gliding in style. The I was like, damn, bro.
yeah.
When he's in Wakanda and he's just like dodging all those missiles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not missiles, but those blasters from the ship. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit. And he was fast as fuck, bro. It was that meme. Fast as fuck, boy, fast as fuck. That shit was wild. Yeah, I liked his entire apparel. I mean, we kind of talked about the apparel already, but I think the apparel he had, the Mesoamerican type the king attire he had, kind of went with his feet wings, which I didn't think would work, but it ended up working. And then yeah, they didn't make him look goofy, which is nice.
Yeah.
I King, any thoughts on this, or you just want to wrap it up?
I want to wrap it up, and I don't really care about the
I'm
dude's
good.
feet.
How dare you?
Nah, it's his
That is
ankles,
feet,
man.
it's his ankles,
Same day.
bitch. Get it together. The level of disrespect he's showing Namor is too damn high, bro.
Honestly.
Speedy Gonzalez is gonna go after your bitch ass. Just all right, King. Let's wrap it up. Get the two non-watchers back. Shout out Dav though. He helped me remember that we forgot to talk about his ankles.
Feet. Maybe he has a foot fetish.
Ankles. He does have a. Dav does have a. Let's confirm this. Anytime.
I believe it.
Man. Such a great.
Oh,
such
Dav
a great
didn't hear that.
No
Now he has to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, he has to listen to get that part.
Yeah, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, we were talking about your fetishes.
Oh, yeah, 2D feet. Let's go.
Fuck, how did you know?
Give me that
I
anime
told
2D
you.
feet.
You left talking about the ankles.
Nah, ankles are like ass. 2D feet. It's the actual feet part.
Oh,
So you
Obviously,
like
3D is whack, but 2D, yeah, I'll take that.
oh my
you
God.
like Namor, bro? He's got some special looking feet.
Oy. Yeah, but nah, that's 3D, so now.
And on that note,
No, there's
I
no
don't know,
Thank
that's
you,
CG, that's
listeners,
basically
for
anime.
Yeah, CG, oh, bro, that changes everything.
soon we're gonna fire Dav and probably a couple other people too. But until then, we are grateful that you guys take the time out of your day to listen. Go watch Black Panther: Wakanda Forever if you're not like Dav and broke as shit because you spent all your money on fucking foot fetish porn. And have a wonderful day.
I wish that's why I was broke. I wish.
He doesn't need to buy it no more, bro. He goes to the tube.